It does not matter what it looks like on this YouTube channel. My nails already look better. And I think that you're wrong. Yeah, I feel like this conversation is gonna be a little difficult. This isn't aligned with my vision because I really want it to feel elevated. I'm very anti-template. I feel a lot of pressure about the next few months. This thing is bulging. Just go get it done. Ain't nothing wrong with me. So I'm like, that's scary. It's a fibroid. I really can't let my anxiety get red onion. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to this FaceTime vlog video. I am going to be yapping and sharing with you some of, the updates and little current things that are going on. I have not done a video like this, but I want to keep my consistency with posting every week. And this week I just could not get it together to film something. So this is my way of throwing something together, I guess, that is still quality. I always want to try to keep the quality high. I'm just still testing things on YouTube, trying to figure out how all of this works. But when I looked at my subscriber count a year ago, I went back to a video to grab something, and I saw it on my YouTube page. And last April, I had about 200 subscribers, I think a little bit over. So yeah, we're what, like 10x that, whatever that looks like. I appreciate all of you all for being here, and everyone who watches every week that I may not, have been able to connect with. Really, absolutely appreciate that, because if you know, YouTube is such a uphill climb for like a lot of people who are creating content or are thought leaders trying to document their life, or just trying to do it because they simply like it. You don't have to always do stuff to monetize it. But yeah, so I'm like, okay, I have grown, like absolutely grown in the last year. Although sometimes I do get discouraged because I want to build more of a community here, and I'm just trying to figure out like how to do that. Anyways, I'm about to go outside for a little bit because I've been really bad, especially after the Christmas holiday, about going outside to get my sunlight directly in my eyes, even if it's for like 10 minutes. And I think that's really affected like my mood the last, 6 weeks, or like 5 or 6 weeks into the year. And I need to get into that habit again. First thing I do when I wake up, I kind of get myself together. At least we live in an apartment, so I can go downstairs, get on the rooftop. That helped me so much when I was doing that consistently. And I have without a doubt noticed that I'm struggling without doing that. So I need to get my life together and reprioritize that aspect of my morning routine. I'm of course going to take my Symbiotic. This is my little gut bestie. And let me also tell you about this natural nail journey I'm on. I don't know if my camera is focusing, but you see my nails are natural. Y'all, I really do not for the foreseeable future see me getting nails back on, whether it's acrylic. I don't like when that air conditioner mess with my audio, so it'll turn off in a second. So whether it's acrylic or the Gel X, pre-extensions, like whatever, I just don't see myself getting that anymore. I don't know. I just really woke up one day and I was over it. And I love my nail salon. I love the nail techs who have done nail art for me at the nail salon that I go to in New Orleans. They're amazing. Lab and Lounge, shout out to them. Like, everybody knows what they're doing, and I feel like it's a great environment. They always run on time. They take their time with you. They give you what you want. They ask you every step of the way, you cool with this? You like this shape? How is this color? They'll help you pick colors out. It's just amazing, very collaborative. And it breaks my heart because I'm like, I don't know that I'll go there anymore. But I am going to learn how to care for my natural nails for the time being. I'm not taking anything as a supplement for my nails in particular. I'm just gonna stay on my regular supplement routine for now. But what I'm doing is non-acetone nail polish remover. I'll do the OPI nail envy and then a little layer of this clear coat. But the trick is I got this Bliss Kiss, whatever this like little oil thing is. I really feel like my camera is not focusing, and that is strange. So here we go. There's that. Simply Pure. This is fragrance free. I don't know. I've been using this for like 3 days. And y'all, when I tell y'all, my nails already look better, and it's been 72 hours. So I really like the brush part. There's obviously a lot of different nail oils, and some of them come with the dropper application, but the brush is really doing it for me because it's just so much easier to apply throughout the day. So I'm doing this, it really says like apply as many times as needed. So I'm doing it like morning, noon, night, and anytime that I feel like my hands were underwater. So if I have to do the dishes or something like that, I'm not really wearing gloves while I do the dishes, but I'll go ahead and put me some of the oil on and just rub it in. So that's kind of my routine right now. I got me a real nail file as well. So I ordered this from Amazon the other day. It came in like a pack of 12. So I'll have nail files for the rest of my life. All right, let me go outside because I need to kind of get out of my funk. And I feel I'm the type of person, or I have the type of personality, or I don't know, I just get kind of, I don't want to feel like what I am going through is a crutch for me. So I tend to minimize like what's happening with me, even though I feel like I'm fully sitting in it, I'm processing it, I know it's happening, I'm aware, but I minimize it, make it like not a big deal. Like the good parts of my life, the bad parts of my life, I try to level everything out. And Rashad and I were just talking about this last night, and how I do that and how it's a coping mechanism because of how I grew up and how I was raised. I had a great upbringing. Like my parents are fantastic. I'm beyond blessed. I'm so lucky. It's not beyond me that I had a very great upbringing. But I also think that with that, I haven't learned other things. And so yeah, I am in my adult life. I am in my mid-30s, which is insane. I'm 34 and I'm trying to figure out how to not play small, not have imposter syndrome. It does not matter what it looks like on this YouTube channel because I have this great light that I'm actually about to spill the tea on, and I look great, or like my hair is pretty, or whatever. And I feel like I do have my stuff together. Like I'm a very grounded person. That is very true. But I'm also dealing with, like demons and like dark thoughts and human stuff. So I've been trying to figure out like, how can I emerge as like the woman that I want to be, the woman that I feel like I am? How do I make sure I am just radiating that like for real and not playing small? Because I know that I'm playing small no matter what it looks like on social media. So yeah, that's just a little like morning yap. Let me show you this light though, because everybody asks me, especially on threads, like, oh, what camera do you shoot with? And I have started to realize that yes, it is not this camera that I shoot with, but I do shoot with the Sony EVE10 or whatever, EZE10, VZ1010. I can never remember, but I think it's EVZ10. It's not hard to find. But it's the Sony vlogger camera, and I have like the tripod that goes with it. But this light is something that Rashad invested in for our podcast. And yeah, I just asked him to leave this up since I was doing more like kitchen content and like what I eat in a days. So honestly, that's what y'all seeing. And I want to be real with you. That whole light setup is probably about $3,000. And again, it was something that we invested in. We do run a creative agency, so we do a lot of creative projects and production and things like that. It wasn't just a random like light purchase. We are, we're doing photo shoots. We have rare goods with our candles. These are our brand candles. When I tell you this scent is actually legit, I'm not playing with you. I like formulated this with someone who knew what they was doing. And this ambitious scent is like, it's giving productivity. It's giving like, endless inspiration. It's amazing. The top notes are bergamot, immortelle, and white musk. So it's very zesty yet calming at the same time, which I feel like is my whole like vibe. Okay. So anyways, a lot of people are thinking that I'm using some sort of special camera because of the way that my content looks. It's really the light, which is a professional light. It's a whole investment. It was like a thing. So when I started to record heavily, like weekly about a year ago, I told Rashad, I said, look, we're just gonna have to keep this up in the house because it is a lot to kind of set up and set, you have a box that you can pack it in. We have a storage unit downstairs and we can pack it up in the box and like get it out of the apartment. But I told him just leave it up because I'm gonna be using this multiple times a week. And it's helped me to put proper lighting like on my food content when I'm doing like recipes and things like that. Cool. So I'll be back in a second when I get back from outside. All right, real glad I went outside. I needed that. I'm gonna make me a little tea. Haven't ate breakfast yet. We'll do that in a little bit. I feel like they're working on something either next door or the apartment above us. So if they start banging around again, I'm going to call downstairs and just make sure everything is okay because it was loud. This is pink lemon ginger by Rishi. Shout out to Rishi. This is my favorite tea brand. This is not sponsored. I do hear somebody out in the hallway. Let me go look. I don't know what's going on, but I don't know if they were hanging something on the wall, like fixing the cabinet. This apartment, I love our apartment. It is so quiet. I never hear nobody above us, below us, on the side of us. We're on the corner. We have two neighbors, but we have the corner apartment, and I'm working on not minimizing my abilities and my successes and my gifts, my blessings, like the luck that I have stumbled into. So yeah, we live in a corner apartment in a high-rise building. That's kind of insane. And we worked really hard for this. I remember when we decided to move over here, it was just a major accomplishment. So there's that. We've been here for, I think, 3 years now. I will let this steep for just a little bit. In the meantime, I'm going to start to prepare for 2 things. I'm cooking breakfast in a little bit. I'm just gonna make my little sweet potato bowl and a smoothie. Got my chia seeds soaking. I have to get on a call with a client at about 11, well, at 11. And y'all, I feel like this conversation is gonna be a little difficult because a week and a half ago, the client hit us up. We had done the brand identity, and we sent them the first version of like their full brand identity, not logo, like brand identity, fonts, colors, photos, like imagery, standards, like the whole, like basically the draft 1 of the guide, the whole guide. So if you know what I'm talking about, if you know what brand identities are, it takes a while to put these things and pull these things together. We had already been through logo design, several different color palettes, just kind of like mixing and matching, like finding what was right based on the strategy that we had done with them and based on their purpose and so what they like and what we feel like the business overall needs. So this is going to be a brick and mortar. It's a professional service. Like it's a thing opening later this year in 2025 in New Orleans. So anyways, they came back about a week and a half ago and was like, yeah, like it's not really doing it for me. Like the logo is too minimal. Mind you, like we had already had several conversations with them and we thought we were 100% like nailing it. Rashad and I are in love with the brand identity. We're in love with the logo that we came up with. And now after the fact, the client's like, yeah, like I hate, like they're very polite about it. And I understand it's really hard to try to articulate and translate your ideas to a designer or a design team or a creative director when you yourself, you don't know the jargon, you're not sure of how to explain certain things, and you don't know how to literally articulate why you do not like something. And as someone who is a designer and a creative director, when I'm working inside of Rare Label, I'm like trying to be the translator, and I don't know. So the client sent me some sketches that they did on Canva, like 12, quite a few different like variations of things that they ended up doing on Canva. And I'm just like, it kind of was like a knife through the heart because I'm telling you what we've designed for them is so, not only is it fire, it's brilliant. I feel like it matches the industry. It matches what the client told us they wanted to do from a strategic standpoint. It just hits so many of the marks. It's so good. And they are like, I feel like we're going to have to basically do the project over because if we have to change what the logo looks like, if you know, that could impact what the fonts are. It's not going to really impact like the color palette, but it could impact what the fonts are, how those fonts are used. So all of that stuff, I have to redo that stuff. And sometimes finding fonts that I really like that work together for a brand, depending on what the tone is and what we're trying to, what the messaging is, what the use cases are and like the applications, it could take me hours, days to find the right fonts. There's millions of fonts out there. I'm not really happy about that because it's now to the point where I have to have the conversation with the client. Like, you have one more revision and I think that you're wrong, but you can't really tell someone they're wrong. It's just not polite. Like, people don't respond that well to those types of things. So I have to find a way to share this with the client. And I've been doing this for a long time, so it's not anything like I haven't done before. It's just an inconvenience. And I feel like now the project gets pushed back, especially if we have to do one more draft of everything, even though we already felt like we got the project done. Like, we're like, this is right. Rashad and I would never hand over work that we would not vouch for ourselves, because if our agency does it, we still have to own that project. Like, we can't hand over some shitty work and expect our company to grow. So over the last 7 years we've been doing this, everything that we've done, like 95% of the projects we have been so proud of. The work is impeccable, But now if the person who hired us to do this work doesn't understand brand management, their shit may not look like nothing today, because now people just want to slap their logos on just anything and everything and don't know how to use their color palette, don't know how to solicit the right photographers to capture, like, you know, don't understand anything about coloring or like exposure, and they updating their website on their own and stuff just be looking crazy because people don't know how to manage their brand. So that's the next realm of things that I want to get into, is more like teaching people how to manage their brand assets that some other designer or creative or agency has done for them, so they don't go and like mess up really good work after the fact. Could talk about that all day. It's tragic. Okay. All right, let's see if I can carry my lip balm, water bottle, tea, and camera over to the desk. I want to check my email real quick. Really not looking forward to this client call, but it gotta get done. Also, stuff is like everywhere on my desk. I was trying to sketch up a couple things. So I have, this is nothing that's really interesting. And I shouldn't be wasting paper like this. I really don't be wasting that much paper, but I do take notes every once in a while, like on note cards, things that I don't want to forget, things that I just want to put down. And then I usually translate this into my, ClickUp, so I can formalize it there. So yeah, I'll get back to that over the weekend. It's just like little reminders and stuff that I want to make sure that I get done. I was really sketching some stuff the other day, I think 2 days ago, because I'm building out the website for Fine Diet, which will house all of my recipes, program lists. So like think about grocery lists or sugar-free snacks, things like that, like all of the things that I've tried and accumulated over the last year and a half. And it'll have a link to book a nutritional therapy session with me, because I'm starting that as like an official business. So that's going to be the second business that I have started and ran. I will be certified in nutritional therapy probably by the end of this year. I'll graduate in September, and I'll take my board exams. And so I want to make sure that beforehand too, I can work with people. I have a waiver, a disclaimer, confidentiality agreement that people will be able to sign, and they can work with me while I'm a student now. So I'm actually working with 2 clients already, just like cleaning up their diet, doing some swaps and making things a little bit like transitioning some of what they eat already to more of like whole food situations, and also just educating them on what their caloric intake should be based on their weight, their body goals, how active they are. So I just went from talking about creative branding work to something completely different. And that is just my life right now. And I love it. I've been able to design this for myself. It's been very hard. It is hard to, have the discipline to work for yourself and like do this every day, day in and day out. But I've been working for myself full time since 2019. I started dabbling in like 2017, 18. And then I went full time in 2019, and then the pandemic hit. So I couldn't go back to the things that I was doing anyways, because the pandemic shut everything down. And during the pandemic, Relabel was an event agency. Hear that? I'm about to call them. Let me get my phone. Anyways, during the pandemic, Relabel was an event production agency. And imagine like all of your business for 2020 being events and in real life experiences with brands and like influencers and celebrities and across the country. Like we weren't just doing events in New Orleans. We were Atlanta, Miami, Florida, like Tallahassee and Houston. All of that stuff was just gone, canceled. So we had to pivot. Okay. All right, that call went well. We were on the phone with the client for about an hour and 45 minutes. That's a long call. I originally told them that I felt like we needed up to 90 minutes to be, in a workshop, a live session, to try to pinpoint what it was that we didn't hit the mark on, because we have just done like this full brand identity. And well, it was probably about 75% complete. And the client's great client. Absolutely love working with them. I don't know if she watches my vlogs, that would be insane. But I absolutely believe that she knows that we delivered, and like the work that we submitted was on point with the things that we had talked about up until that moment. But she still just wasn't there were just some disconnections for her. And I'm like, I understand that. And I really, really commended her for coming forth with that, because I wouldn't ever want anyone who works with us to feel like, well, we've done something or we've directed something, we've produced something and designed something, and that client just has to walk with it, even though they're like, I actually think this isn't aligned with my vision, because we realize things change as you go through this process, especially if you haven't been through the branding process before. It's like, it's your first time and you don't know what you don't know until someone educates you on it. And that's why we always approach things from a strategy standpoint. We don't do no projects if there's no strategy, because at the end of the day, all of this is connected to money, and it's connected to somebody at the end of the day need to make their money back. So you invest with us. We want to guide you through as many scenarios as possible, so that way when you do walk with these final assets that we're handing over to you, you know how to use them, you know how to scale them, they make sense for someone else that you're working with, social media manager, co-founder, like whoever else is the stakeholders in your business. So yeah, the call went well, but it was very long. And I think that it's not talked about, the come down that you have to have between a call with a client that is a very big deal, and it's a big project. It's one of our biggest projects on the books right now, and it will probably continue through like the rest of this year. But I've just been kind of decompressing after that call. Not that it wasn't intense or awkward or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and work for about an hour and a half, and then I'm going to get a gym session in. It's a Friday, by the way, and Fridays is one of my favorite days, especially, you know, being a homebody and working on a lot of projects right now, starting another business. I'm in school. I just feel like Fridays is so much more calm. The weekend is approaching. It feels quiet, even though the energy outside is, no pun intended, super high, because it is Super Bowl weekend. I'm chilling today. I have 2 events that I will go to tomorrow that I am, I'm excited to go to them because I know people who will be there. And one of them is a sneaker event with Chase. It's like a financial sneaker head, Chase Bank, I guess financial literacy, something, I don't know, forum or panel. Everything is like a panel. It's insane. And then I have gotten invited to my talent manager. Actually, I have a talent manager, so crazy. But she kind of steps in the gap for me every so often. I'm not like fully on board with her just yet. We're trying to test some things out because I'm such a small creator at this point. But she, she's been doing this for some years. I've known her the whole time that she's done this. And she's a good friend of mine as well. And she's also been a client. I've also worked with her and done some things with her. So anyways, she hooked me up with this Athlete's Foot event. So I'm going to go do that tomorrow evening. I think there's like some sneaker customization going on, whatever. It'll be cool. But other than that, I'm not at all interested in any of the things like surrounding Super Bowl. I went to a thing last night for about an hour and a half. Honestly, wasn't really impressed by it. So sorry if anybody is watching this and offended by this. But, and not to name the event, I've been to these types of events too in different markets. Like the same concept by this company has had this in different markets. And it just wasn't really that impressive. But I saw some people that I knew, and that was really important to me. And that was why I went. So I'm just being honest with you. This is a yap. I'm just letting you know that for real, I don't know, I'm really hard to impress, but I'm not high maintenance. It's a very interesting paradox. Not easily impressed, but everything is impressive to me at the same time. I don't know. Cool. So we also just got a text message from an old friend, and she wants to meet with us on Monday about a project. So this will be super cool. Hopefully that this pushes through. It's probably with an artist, and we're excited to kind of find out who she's working with, even though we already know who she's working with. But the roster, any of the artists that she works with, that would be amazing if we were able to do a collaboration or some sort of something, depending on what she needs. So we'll talk to her Monday. I just set that up. I'm gonna work on Fine Diet now. So Fine Diet, I'm in the middle of building the website. Rashad is going to build the actual website on Shopify. It's really nice to have a partner who has strengths that you don't have. So while he's going to build the back end and the website, I am kind of wireframing everything. I'm bringing the look and the feel to everything and writing all of the copy. It's going to be so much copy, but like I mentioned earlier, and then I'm gonna show you where I'm at with this wireframe, because I do want to document some of this process. So I have right now, my main offerings are going to be programs. These are diets or meal plans, like breaking up with sugar, things that people can actually actively do. They will be behind a paid wall, and they will be sequenced with emails and text messages, so that person who signs up for that program will know what to do that day. Like, here's your recipes for this day. Here are the things that you need to focus on. And the breakup with sugar one is going to be 14 days. So that's essentially 14 emails and 14 text messages. All of that copy needs to be written. I need to understand what the imagery is for all of those things, how to move people from Instagram to the website to signing up on the sales page for this product, to also maybe even move people from my Find Diet channel and YouTube channel to sign up for the programs, and how do I want to just, like, I don't know, put everything on a marketing 360 loop. Yeah, so it's exciting. Other than the programs, I'm also going to put some lists on here. I just feel like I want to have a check down of like gluten-free ingredients that you can get for your pantry, sugar-free swaps will be that, all of those lists will be for free, grocery shopping lists or whatever. And you'll be able to book me for therapy, like I said, and view some of my recipes, because I need to get these up and start to tag these with like SEO keywords and different things, so I can become like a real nutritional thought leader. That's the plan. Okay. I'm gonna flip this camera around. All right, so you can see what I'm talking about here. This is the wireframe for the website. So we have a lot of stock imagery in here right now that's just placeholding. And if you haven't ever seen a wireframe for the back of a website, it's literally the blueprint. So before you go into a website, you know, the designers, like people who've been doing this for a long time, like, you know, obviously this is not me, like this is a stock image of somebody right now, but you know that you want to kind of map everything out before you start to design it in a actual website. So when you go to the website now, like when we go to Squarespace or we go to Shopify, we already know what the website should look like exactly. So that's what a wireframe is for. You can share this, and I can pull this up as an actual link. Let me see if I can. I'm not gonna worry about that right now. But I also have an actual link to this page, and I can pull it up in a browser just like a regular website. So cool, this will be my programs page. So I have my headline, a little description of that. And the two programs that I'm coming out with from the jump are, you know, the Dear Sugar. Actually, we're done. I changed the copy. Y'all, language is so important. Let's see. I do feel like my focus is going in and out, so pardon me if it's driving you crazy. I need to change my settings on my camera, and I'm not sure how to do that. So these will be the first two programs. I am not probably going to charge $20. I might charge more than that. I might charge less than that. I don't know. It's a placeholder. This is the mobile version of what that page will look like when you pull it up on a cell phone. And then when you click on Breakup with Sugar, I have started to map out what that page looks like. So we'll have a key image. I do need to change this out. I just screenshotted this from Pinterest right now. But what I'm signaling to Rashad is that this image needs to be this wide, so on and so forth. And this is how I want the text to pop up. I want it to be below the image. And I'll have a little bit of a description here. We'll have a button that you can begin the program right there. So on a sales page, you want to go into what the problem is. So sugar is holding you back, whoop de whoop. There's going to be a carousel here, the benefits to cutting it off, and there's going to be more details. So I'm starting to list out what all comes with this program. Boom, you can click buy the program or sign up for the program right here. I'm going to grab some testimonials because I have already done a 14-day, challenge with people on my Instagram channel. So I'll be able to get some testimonials. I want to have an accordion style menu for FAQs. I'm going to call them popular questions maybe. And then I'll have a teaser of what each day looks like. So like the 14 days, what are you focused on? What's the goal for that day? How can you, kick ass that day? So on and so forth. So this is the whole sales page. And then we come down here, there's a final little blurb and newsletter sign up, all the legal copy at the bottom of the website that needs to go there, so on and so forth. So that's a very big undertaking. Right now I'm about to work on the pages for the recipes. So I have a pancake recipe that I'm just obsessed with. You've seen me make it on this channel if you have watched. I'm going to, and I have the recipe for it. I just need to formalize the process. And that way, every time I come up with a new recipe, I'm like, hey, Rashad, can you add this to the website? He knows where to find it. I have all the measurements. I have the macro breakdown. I have the instructions for the recipe, the actual recipe to make it. So I'm going to go ahead and post these pancakes to the website, or I'm not going to post them. I'm going to finish the wireframe for how I want this to appear on the website. And I'm also trying to determine whether or not I want some of my content to be my iPhone content. And what does that look like when it's on the page? Because I really want it to feel elevated. And I've already made so much content from my phone in the kitchen, and it's high quality. The lighting's really good. It's like the vibe that I want. But how do I put that into the website? And that way, every time I add another page to the website, it's just like, cool, this is the template. Like, I'm making a template, because I'm not a fan of finding a template. I think that got so burnt out over the last few years, especially in 2020, 2021, when everybody was starting their own business. Like, templates got overused, and now everybody's trying to just design from a template rather than design from what their product is, what their strategy is, what they feel like their customers need to know. It's like you're just backfitting everything into something that's already been created that hasn't been creative with your needs in mind. So I'm very anti-template. I bet you didn't know that. So let me get to work here, and then I'll update you. We'll go to the gym or something like that and keep it rolling. Okay, made it to the gym. I am going to select a podcast. I always listen to, for the most part, 9 times out of 10, I'm listening to something in the health and wellness realm. So if you have a suggestion on a podcast that falls within that category, those topics, nutrition, fitness, lifestyle, everything like wellness, definitely put me on. I am listening to him and her right now. This is the Skinny Confidential. If you know, you know, one of the biggest wellness podcasts, one of the biggest for sure, for a top 10er. They have a conversation going on right now, how to back your time, own your future, and tap into the greater power of your mind. So that's what we'll be listening to. Don't always feel like coming to the gym. So there's that. It is about 4:30 at this point, and there's a few people in here. I'm gonna stretch in this back room and encourage anybody who is getting started on a journey to literally just get started. It's so cliche, but that's how you're gonna work up to a routine to where your body is just like, oh, it's time to go to the gym, girl. Like, what are you doing? Let's go. And just getting started, just putting one foot in front of the other. So this week in particular, I've been good, hit all my workouts. I wouldn't say had a great week. I feel like I've maintained, have gotten stronger, really nice, but it's a consistency. So we have glutes and hamstrings, so that'll be fun. We'll probably be in here for about 45 minutes. I am working out with Sweat app. This is what I've been using a little over a year now. We'll do some glute kickbacks, deadlifts, negative sumo squat, hamstring curl, glute bridge, crab walk. Cool. I was really struggling this week, all week, with my productivity. I never felt I got into a flow where I had a full day of just, I killed it. I had spurts of, I wouldn't say I was low energy, but I just had spurts of good productivity. And then the rest of the day, or I don't know, if I had productivity in the evening, it was my morning was shitty. So I wasn't able to really put forth a whole day this week. And I'm being super honest about that. I thought, okay, Monday, it'll come, it'll go. Tuesday came by. Tuesday was really rocky. Wednesday came by, it was even worse. Yesterday, I was just, we're almost at the weekend, so I started to feel a little bit better. This week was really tough for me to put together a whole day, just solidness. I think that's partly because I have a couple health things going on, and I'm really just trying to change the trajectory of my life, and I feel a lot of pressure about the next few months. Rashad and I are trying to relocate from New Orleans, which some of y'all might be hearing that for the first time. But it's something we're thinking about and planning towards. It's not going to happen overnight, and it's going to be a process. So we're trying to figure that out. It's an undertaking. I've been here for 10 years. We've been in this apartment for 3, like I said earlier, and it's just dang, we really are seriously considering moving. On the health side of things, which I'll share with you just real quick, and then I'll elaborate more whenever we dinner in a bit. But I am dealing with my colitis. Obviously, it's going fine though. I'm actually really doing really well there, but I'm about to have a conversation with my doctor in about a month to ask her if she'll reduce my prescription, or I'll just stop taking them altogether. But I do want to wean myself of the injection that I have to take. So I'm myself for that conversation by doing research, by just keeping up with my diet, keeping in the gym, like staying active, keeping my stress levels down. Like I just try not stress about anything, like at all. Just like it'll work out, because if it doesn't work, it's still probably out the way it was supposed to. So I'm dealing with that and managing that, and that's going well. Another thing is on my plate right now is fibroid. A pretty large fibroid. I have a 5 centimeter fibroid. So I have a doctor that's supposed to call me next week and get me in on her books to do a pre-op and schedule a surgery to get this removed. And I just feel like I'll show you in a little bit. And I just don't want to walk around looking like I am pregnant, but I also feel it. And a couple weeks ago, I had an endometrial biopsy, which was insane. And I felt like that messed up my period. So I should be on my period right now. I'm not. And it was kind of confusing. So yeah, just like navigating all that stuff and reaching out to friends and people who might be able to support me that have been through the fibroid situation or fibroid removal, so I can get a little bit more comfort, like what to expect and the choices that I want to make. To start doing this stretch sequence, I'm gonna do some leg swings on my app. I love this app because it shows you, it has such great demonstrations of like what you're supposed to be doing. So this is where we're at right now. And I could pull this up on my watch too if I wanted to, but I bring my iPad so I can stay off my phone while I'm in the gym. So yeah, I want to be optimistic and I want to keep it real at the same time. And keeping it real is like telling you that not everything is perfect. And I'm really actually in the deep end right now, trying to swim to shore, trying to start another business, keep the other one going, finish school, move cities, relocate my business, relocate me and Rashad, deal with the health stuff. And I'm not looking for sympathy either. So I think that that's why sometimes I just don't say anything at all, because I don't want people to be like, oh, I'm sorry you have to deal with that. I'm like, it's life. I'm fine. Like for real, I'm fine. But I don't know if you can tell. I feel like I look bloated. I'm also really small anyway, so like I understand that. But I still feel like, I don't know. It's just, and I can feel it as well. So it's not, I don't want anybody to comment and be like, oh my gosh, you look fine. You look great. Because my great and your great and everybody else's great are very different. And I'm like, I'm telling you, this thing is bulging. I don't know if anybody can hear me in this gym. That would be so crazy. All right, I'm gonna work out. About to do a little dinner now. I had a decent workout. I'm about to cut up this sweet potato. Workout was decent. No complaints there. I'm so glad to just get that done, because I'm glad that I didn't skip today and be like, oh, I'll just work out tomorrow. It's like, oh, just go get it done. Ain't nothing wrong with me. I ain't, sick or nothing. I'm excited to watch some television tonight. So Severance comes out, the new episode of Severance drops on Friday, and Dexter, Original Sin. If you were familiar with Dexter from back in the day, the new series, brilliant. So those are kind of the two things that I'm on right now. I'm also watching the latest documentary, O.J. Simpson, The American Manhunt on Netflix. Wild. I know that story has been told a million times, but I'm always interested in how investigative journalism decides to present their stories, how they decide to storytell what happened. Kind of like, is it coming from the angle of making the suspect or the alleged murderer in this case, like, is it about, do the directors and the investigative journalists, are they coming at it from like, I want the viewer to feel sympathy for this person, right? Like in this case for OJ. So yeah, it goes super in depth. I think it's like 4 or 5 episodes. I didn't realize it was going to be that intense. Trying to keep up with basketball, NBA and women's college basketball. A little Unrivaled too. That's WNBA 3-on-3. Very entertaining. I'm hearing that I need to check out Paradise, I think, on Hulu. Let me know if you've watched that or you are watching that. I don't know. I like good TV. I'm not super into comedy. I'm not ever into reality TV. It's absolutely not. I like action, thrillers, investigative journalism, drama, true crime, those types of things. Very dark. So let me share a little bit about this like fibroid situation, because I do plan to keep you updated and just to share my experience, especially as I'm getting closer to figuring out if I'll schedule a surgery to have it removed. So I have been heavily bleeding since forever and thought it was normal. Like, oh, this is normal for me. This is normal, blah, 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 whatever. Nobody ever really flagged it. And so I switched to a new OBGYN maybe about 3 years ago because the OBGYN I was seeing supposedly was like a resident, and like I didn't know that, and she moved, no warning, whatever. So I had to wait like a year to see another doctor. It was really insane. So I've been building a relationship with her as of lately over the last 3 years. And I don't know, she just eventually one day was like, well, let's just send you for like an ultrasound for, whatever, like fibroids, and see if there's anything going on, like, because you're saying you're bleeding this much. And I'm just like, yeah, like I've been bleeding this much for like a very long time. So it turns out that I have a large fibroid, and it's anterior. I think for my weight and like my size and like my stature, it's a large fibroid for me. I think depending on your height or your weight, this could be a medium sized fibroid, possibly a small fibroid. For me, it's very noticeable. And I started to notice it summer last year, and I would be in my tights and, work out or whatever, outside. It was 100 degrees outside in New Orleans. And I'm like, why am I bloated? Like, this is like not normal. Never really experienced this before. I thought it was my autoimmune condition. I thought that my gut was like inflamed. I thought that I was regressing. I was kind of worried that, I don't know, just the medicine that I'm taking, this biologic that I have to inject, wasn't working. I was confusing it for my inflammatory disease. So I'm like, that's scary. Come to find out, it's a fibroid. So then after we located it, and it's just one that we know of that they told me, just feel like I've just heard so many horror stories. Mind you, I've talked to several people that I trust about this, several people who I trust put me in contact with people who they knew that went through this situation. So I've been talking to people here and there for the last few months, because I found out this in November. And then my doctor was like, well, I need you to come in and have an endometrial biopsy to just rule out any like cancer or anything that's wrong with the lining of the uterus. So I'm like, all right, cool. I had to wait until January, a couple weeks ago, to do that. So had to wait for those results, which only took like a few days, but that came back all benign. Like there's no cancer, anything like that. It's just the fibroid that's causing like the heavy bleeding and some of the other symptoms that I'm experiencing. So then she was like, okay, well, we can start to talk through treatment or removal. Treatment with birth control to help with the bleeding or possibly shrink the fibroid is just really not on the table for me because of the size that it already is. And she's like, birth control, I'm gonna be honest with you, it's not guaranteed, especially for the size of this type of fibroid and that you're already having kind of like day-to-day symptoms. I wouldn't say that I'm in pain every day, but say for instance, tonight after dinner, we go walk, I will have probably some irritation like in my lower abdomen area, because like throughout the day, like I'm sitting at the desk, I do try to get up and down. I try to get my steps in, I try to get my 10K steps in every day. Today I'm at 4,600. So by the time we go on a walk, I will have hit that 10K. And I try to stay pretty active. Like I'm lifting the weights. So by the end of the day, my fibroid is always kind of a bit irritated. And then, I kind of get in the shower and I'm just like, at that point, I'm ready to go to bed because I fall asleep and I'm not in pain or anything while I'm resting, and I'll be able to wake up the next day and then feel more refreshed and whatnot. So that's where I'm at with it. I am seriously considering surgery. I'll be able to do the robotic surgery, so it will be minimally invasive and it won't, they won't have to like cut me open or anything like that. So I'm just still continuing to have conversations with women, do my research, like read about this. I feel very confident. I feel very up to date and up to speed and with all of the information that I have so far. Certainly, if you have had an experience and you want to, you're comfortable with sharing in the comments or whatever, like that's very much welcomed. And yeah, if you want to send me like a side note, like on Instagram, like I'm not hard to find. I would appreciate that. But like I said, I'm not trying to scare anybody and I don't want to be scared. So if you do have a comment and it's like a little scary or you're trying to advise me, I don't know that I would appreciate that. But I think the more information that I have, the better I'll be able to, navigate this for sure. So let me know if that makes sense. I'm like, I don't want to be advised on what to do because somebody did suggest, some like herbs and like different things like that. And I already, like, I have a very good diet. I am working on my diet like every day. Matter of fact, and I'm not saying I know everything, because I absolutely don't. I have not tried everything. I am still a student in school. I don't know everything, but I'm very much also on top of that. And I know what I feel every day. I'm living with this fibroid, so I don't necessarily want to be advised. I just want to hear about why other women maybe have made their decisions around the fibroids, if that makes sense. Like, this was what happened to me. I had several fibroids, or I ended up traveling to a doctor that did, you know, the laparoscopic surgery, so I wouldn't have to do a myectomy. Just different things like that. So that's what's helpful, I think, overall. Or if you just want to send some love, you know, whatever. But I'm fine. I really am. I'm just trying to, you know, not get worked up about it all. Like I said, I really can't let my anxiety get, that's a red onion. I really can't let my anxiety get to a certain point, because that will cause more inflammation in my gut. So I just don't be tripping about nothing these days. Like, it's just not worth it, because if I get sick again and I have another flare up, I can't. And I didn't record anything from back then when that happened to me in 2023, because I felt like I was going to die. So ain't nothing that serious. Like, so that's pretty much some of the updates, like how I'm feeling mentally, just trying to make this transition into, you know, this 35-year-old woman that I'm about to be. And I want to really hit the ground running with my nutrition and lifestyle therapy, and have some really good offerings for everyone, even if it's just a few at first. I'll be able to build on that as the year goes on. I want to, I really want to excel at these client projects that we have, continue to build Rare Label, continue to show and demonstrate what we're capable of. And that way we're able to get back to, you know, we had a team at one point. Right now it's just Rashad and I, and we work with contractors if we need to, but we don't have anyone like day to day that we're working with like all the time. We don't have anybody like full time besides us in the company, but we want to get back to that. So we want to rebuild a team, and I know that might be happening in the next year or so, which is really fast. I want to be able to relocate if that is in the cards for us pretty soon, and wrap my head around that. I want to get through this potential surgery that I'm about to have and all of the things, and continue to meet my body goals, get off this medication. The other medication that I'm talking about ain't got nothing to do with the fibroid. Maybe that enlarged the fibroid rapidly, which I did actually look at the connections between the ulcerative colitis, my medication, and the fibroid. Already did that. Been there, done that. So it's potential. I think everything could, you know, cause everything, and like anything could affect anything. And that's what's confusing sometimes about like the medical situation, or the medications that we're on, and how they're interacting with different foods that we're taking, or they're not being absorbed, because, you know, just it's a lot that goes into it. So trying to check for any of that, what is it called? Cross something, not cross contamination. At the end of the day, and my mind is starting to slow down. So I've already looked into that, but I want to reduce this medication that I'm on in the next month or two, hopefully start to not take that. I just have some like personal health goals and professional goals trying to get to. It's a lot to focus on. So I wake up every day and I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to do this all over again. Wow. I'll let you go. Thank you for coming to my FaceTime vlog and hearing me yap. I rarely do this, but if you liked this, this was fairly a light lift. I'm interested in doing this again, and talking to you more about the deep thoughts that I have. So let me know. Thank you. Like and comment and subscribe. I will see you later.